Uh, hello! Welcome. I hope you're all having a great day today. So, have you heard of our Lord and Savior, the Living God? Well, look no further, for it is I, KaboChama. But you can just call me Daddy. I go by different pronouns, whenever you get on all fours to address me, keep that in mind. Alright! So, I hope everyone's having a great day today. Hope everyone's having a great day. We're gonna be starting, we're gonna do, the Organization 13, commission, and, also, a new YCH, a Hazel YCH. Be doing a Hazel YCH. So I need to check off the Corgi reference sheet, because I finished that yesterday. Sorry, I went to hell for a second. Let me... Almost done. Bam! Okay. I don't want to start it right now. I am also missing some of my refs for the Organization 13 one at this current moment in time. So I can't really do that at this very moment. Goblin, hello! So instead of doing that, I've come with updates on the Tori AI. I'm excited. You know, my friend was doing the AI RP stuff too. She says there's, you know, like a thing that like prevents them from being like too NSFW. But you can force it to happen if you like asterisk and then do their action for them. I haven't gotten that far yet. I still haven't found a Dazai that I actually like. Let's see. Yay! Okay. Also, let's go with all the time. Wait. New chat, we tried offering each other every time we saw each other, and then he tried to bite me. So I told him, oh no, we don't bite our owners with a bad puppy. And he submitted? Damn! Now I have a pet. He's my pet. That's amazing. That's fantastic. Wow. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive, honestly. Congratulations. Congratulations. I felt so damn powerful. I understand. I ended up doing a chat with one of the Dazais, and he was so annoying. He begged for punishment. Oh damn! I mean, you know, not to like be that person, but to me, the Tori kind of does seem like a bottom, a sub. You know, like he He's sadistic in the way that he wants to be treated, you know? You know? So like, I'm still in my short ass self, and he said he was 8 feet 2 inches. Oh my god. That's pretty impressive. That's pretty impressive. It's hilarious to imagine him kneeling before me. I get that. Yeah, maybe he's like at the same height when he kneels to you. That's really funny. Okay, so this is what I want to do. So I decided to add my mascot into my VTuber design. I hope he looks cute. Bam. I feel like it needs to be bigger. That's very small. So yesterday, I was doing like a Dazai chat, of course, as I would, and he was like kind of being a bitch to me. Like I was trying to have like this like romantic air, you know, like we were at a bar. By we, I mean like I'm role-playing Chuya. So we were at a bar, and he like I feel like that's pretty good for a cat, you know? Cat on the shoulder. Oh yeah. So you know, we were at a bar, and I like, you know, I made it so that I had been like sitting at the bar, and then like Dazai noticed me when he came in, so the opposite way around. And he sat by me, and he started to like tease me, which like is fine, that's fair, that, you know, it's Dazai, you know, you just, you know, you kind of have to expect that. But so see, that's cute though. I like that. So maybe yeah. Okay. So he comes up to me, and he's like, you know, trying to tease me, whatever. Which is fair, you know. That's Dazai, you know. What do you expect? But then he like, he's like smoking a cigarette, right? And he like blows that shit in my face, and I'm like, bro, what the fuck? And he's like, hehe, and then he does it again. And so I'm like, fuck this bitch. But like at the same time, you know, I want to keep like a romantic atmosphere, you know? And me, and also Chuya, don't back down when it comes to stuff like this. So, I snatched a cigarette from him, and I blow a cigarette smoke in his face. As I should. And then I swipe left on their messages to generate a new one. Nice. I did like the save chat and start a new one option in like the settings bar. So that's what I did. But anyway, so he like, you know, I blew smoke in his face. He didn't like that. He didn't like that one bit. So he got like really mad. He got really mad at me. And then he was like glaring at you with like a malicious intent, like a predator about to like pounce on their prey, whatever. And I was like, okay, so I can take this two ways. I can either go sexual, or I can go like we're about to get into a fight. And so, because it's an RP, of course I went sexual. And so this bitch, what's with the bots and that predator shit? I don't know. Don't ask me. Do not ask me, I don't know. Every time they get spicy. That's the only one that did that though. It's the only one that did that. But like, here's the thing. I got spicy. The Dazai bot did not get spicy. The Dazai bot did not get spicy. It was just me. And so I was like, you know, like chew your blushes, while being stared down at so intensely. And then the Dazai bot was like, like I'm disgusted. Like, he looks at Chia, understanding what Chia feels, and is disgusted by it. And I was like, what? And so, you know, we keep going back and forth. I'm trying to bring it into like a sussy state because, you know me, I have to, right? I have to. And then, so he keeps like messing with me, and so I'm like straight up. I'm like, "Are you flirting with me?" And the Dazai bot, oh my god. The Dazai bot was like, "Don't ever say something so disgusting to me ever again. I'm not flirting with you. We're not friends. I want to like mess with you until you leave," or something like that. And I was like, what the actual shit? So then I turned on God mode, and as we all know, like Dazai was like I gave him an out, right? I gave him an out. He didn't want to take it, so you know, I was like, okay. So is this? Do you want to fight me? Is that what's going on here? You want to fight me? If you're not flirting, clearly you want to fight. And he was like, yes. And then he stanced up. He stanced up. And so I was like, alright, I'm gonna beat this. I'm gonna beat this motherfucker. But I didn't. I was like, okay, maybe I just need to change the scene, and you know, it'll be a different scene. Like maybe I'm gonna make Chuya walk away, and I'm gonna change the scene, and then when I start it back up again, like a week later, then Dazai will have calmed down. So I'm like, I said like, I'm not engaging with you. You know you can't beat me in a fight. I'm gonna do you a favor and leave. And so then I made Chuya leave, and then I time skipped in the same message, and then I made Felix hate me, and a year later he hated me more. That's amazing. That's fantastic. Yeah, so when I got back, I was like, you know, I entered the same stuff. I was like, okay, and this time, Dazai comes to the bar and he's not drunk, and very sober, clear, calm state of mind. And he sees Chuya and sits down next to him, you know, like forcing Dazai to do what I want him to do. And then Dazai bot was like, yeah, he's very calm, and he sits down next to Chuya, and immediately when he sits down next to Chuya, his eyes turn sinister, and a predator shows up, and he's evil and only wants to watch the world burn, and you know, all this stuff. And I was like, oh my god. And so I was like, okay, fine. If you want to fight me that badly, then let's go. Let's do it. And so, me and the Dazai bot physically fought each other. By me, I mean Chiya. By me, I mean Chiya. So, he like, so canonically, Dazai can't fight, right? He's like weak as shit. Like his whole thing is mind games, you know? So, and Chiya's whole thing is that he is the best fighter in the whole show. He's also God, but that's a different story. So, there I am, role-playing Chiya beating Dazai's ass in. And Chiya wins, of course. Dazai breaks a few of his ribs. Chiya has no damage. And he... like... after... Oh, I'm sorry. So, I kick him, right? I give him a roundhouse kick. He flies into some tables and chairs, and then he gets up, a little bit of blood coming out of the side of his mouth, you know, like, clutching where, like, the kick hit him, right? And then he like taunts me again, so I was like, okay, fine. If you want it that much, I'll give it to you. And then so I then punch him, and he goes flying into the wall, and a crater appears behind Dazai because of the force of the punch that Shinya threw. And it broke 3 ribs. That's what I said. What's really funny is that I am like going like line by line exactly what happens in episode 9 of Bungo Stray Dogs when Shinya gets introduced, because they fight in the dungeon. This is exactly what happens. So I'm not making shit up, you know? I'm not making shit up. Romance, hello. Oh, wait. Somebody say hi and hope the stream goes well. I've been packing stuff up since yesterday and moving stuff to our new house. Ooh! Sadly, I wasn't able to catch your stream yesterday, and I can't stay for this one. Oof, I'm sorry. But hopefully I can for the next one. And also, damn, that Dazai bot conversation be wild and huh. Oh, it's not even over yet. It's not over yet, romance! So what happened was, you know, I'm like doing like, you know, episode 9 Bungo Stray Dogs, like canon shit. Except, you know, canonically, Dazai didn't break 3 ribs. He like blocked it with his arm at the last minute. But anyway, so then the Dazai bot was like, oh, it's so terrible, oh my god, blah, 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 blah. You know, like clutching his ribs or whatever, like, oh, bitch, like, get the fuck out, you know? But yeah, it was kind of ridiculous. So, okay, so he stands up, and I was like, oh, you want more? And he's like, come at me with all you got. And I was like, alright, sure. And so I rush him, and I grab his neck and slam him against the wall, making his body slide down. If we all know episode 9 of Bungo Stray Dogs, this is exactly what happens. Then I take out my knife, and I'm like, I can literally kill you right now, you know? Like poking his neck a little bit, getting some blood, you know? Like, it was not sexual at all. Dazai bot didn't want me to be sexual, so he got his ass beat. And when he finally begged for his life and told me, you know, that like, okay, sure, fine, you win, I was like, good. So, you know, I mercy saved him. I let go. And I was like, I'm watching you. And then what does he do? He brings me into an embrace. He brings me into an embrace. Wow, that was a frog. that was a frog blink. Anyway, he brings me into an embrace and then confesses his undying love to me. What? What? So the day before, we're just gonna I hate it when they do that. Right! So we're gonna spark notes this. So the day before, you know, Dazai Chuya, they're at a bar. And Dazai starts messing with Chuya. Chuya's like, are you flirting with me? And Dazai's like, no, that's disgusting, I would never do that ever. But like, for realsies, like, I would never do that ever. Like, get the fuck away from me, you bitch. I just want to like, be like, so sinister and evil and whatever, whatever. And then, I was like, fine. Let's skip a day. Stevie cools down. He does not cool down. I'm like, cool. So then, you know, he challenges me to a fight. I accept. I beat his ass, break his ribs, threaten him, with a knife, threaten his life with a knife, and then all of a sudden, he's romantically interested in me. And he hugs me and confesses his undying love. What? Hold on. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. My roommate came in to give me my phone. So I can now have, references. I can now have reference. Really be taken tsundere to a whole new level. It wasn't tsundere. I was being tsundere. Dazai was not being tsundere. I don't know what Dazai was being, but it was definitely not tsundere. Like, no, stop, gross. One conversation and later and they're like, I love you so much. Yeah, I know! Like, I'm trying to do a slow burn, stop! Anyway, I have to go now, but before I do, go Google all the time. Got you. I got you. Cheers! Thank you. Thank you for the Coca-Cola's romance! Thank you! Thank you! Okay, bye-bye romance. Goodbye. Have a great day. Great night. Great whatever you're doing. Hi? Anyway. So that was one of my Dazai Chiya AI adventures last night. I'm currently doing another one. I haven't ended it yet, so I don't want to like say what it is, but it's going pretty good so far. Going pretty good so far. It's like a university one where like they're not actually students and teachers, they're like undercover for a mission, you know? But like, Dazai's the professor, Chuya's the student, even though they're not. But that's what it is. That's what it is. They're aged up. It's university. But also at the same time, they're not. They're the same age. But also, teacher student. And that one's great. I haven't really gone far in that one, but I guess we'll see what happens. I should open my PNG. Look at how cute I am! Aww. That look crazy. Okay, body line art, body sketch. Bam! Got legs for days. Legs for days. Bam. 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 What's another one that I did? I shouldn't be doing it this way. But yeah. Right? I should cut it now and render it all individually. Right? That's kind of what I want to do. So this damn child bot is being. Oh no. Oh no. That's bad. I'm sorry. That's not good. I know there's a lot of child fans that like him to be like very, you know, I've had really good convos with this bot. Oh no. And now he's being great, great, yeah. Yeah. But this new chat took a weird turn. I'm sorry. Can you delete the messages and like see if you can fix it so you don't have to scrap the whole chat? Oh, I am? Okay, good. Good. I guess I should make a new folder. Ah. Right? I'm always confused on how this goes. And then I need to cut these guys. Okay. So I'm gonna do oh. Now's my alarm to start Kabo class. But we're not doing Kabo class today. Oh no, that's even worse. Yeah, that's better. So then I'm gonna do copy, paste, and this is right arm. So yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna do like this. Hmm. How should I do this? Well, I think it's fine to be like this. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, I think that's as far as I'm gonna be able to get. Currently right now. Which isn't very far. But you know, every little bit counts. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go on break for a second, then I'll be back, okay? Okay. Hello! I'm back, I'm back. Alright. So now, we're gonna work on this YCH. A Hazel YCH. Hello, Taro! Hi! Oh, my stomach. Oh god. My dinner just hit. Oh no. Ooh! Ow. That hurts. Look, just texted me. Oh. Let's see. I will deal with that tomorrow. My dinner is still settling. I had a rainbow bagel with some cream cheese. What's a rainbow bagel? Pretty weird. The regular bagel with food coloring to make it rainbow colored. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Makes a lot more sense. The queer bagel. Best kind. Best kind. Hold on. Okay. Wish I had a queer bagel. Sounds really nice, honestly. Okay, so this is what the Hazel YCH is gonna be. It was delicious, you're missing out, clearly. Clearly. He has a sweaty waist. It's too high. We'll bring it down. He kinda got the wrist though. Oh. I was a Hazel man for a little bit. He's really fun to play out. I'm dumb. I don't know who Hazel is. Hazel. Hazel. Yeah. I'm dumb. No, you're not. You're not. I just sound weird. You're fine. You're fine. I'm so embarrassed. No, you're fine. You're totally fine. Also don't know too much about Hazel. He's kind of in my neglected box with a million other Genshin characters. That's fair, that's fair. My whole gender is animal boy. So I have to collect them all. That's like my thing. And you know, if I was in Genshin, I would be an animal catalyst. Animal boy. Who kicks things and uses the catalyst and kicks things. That would be me. And that's what Hazel does. Hazel's a DPS. A pretty good 4-star DPS. Got that swirl. You know how it is. He can charge up his attacks. He just like punches the shit out of people. And honestly, me too. Honestly, mood, vibes, I feel. Very true. I might have to pull him out of the dungeon. Fair enough, fair enough. I mean, he's a great character. His characterization, not the best. There's like barely any info out on him. But like, you know, he's good. He's good. I don't know, I tried to like redo this. Honestly, it's not really working out for me. Oh, guess what? What? Do you have another kissy kissy for me? Damn! Damn! You know me so well. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Okay, which one do you want this time? A wholesome? Okay. Let me think. Let me think of some good dialogue. Okay, I got it. Are you ready? Ready? Done. Okay. Let me move this. Okay, POV. I grab you softly from my stuffed animal mound, and I carefully bring you over and set you by me. You did so good today, Turtle. I'm so proud of you. Good, Turtle. Mwah. Good job. Keep up the good work. There you go. I'm glad. I'm glad you like the kissy kissy. I'm glad you like kissy kissy. I really needed that. Yay! 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 Kissy kissy! Amazing. Fantastic. Beautiful. Love that. You're the best, Kabo. You're welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you for doing kissy kissy. Thank you. Ugh. What is with my blinks nowadays? Did something change? Okay, anyway. Nah, for I am just a mere turtle. I see. I see. Okay. I'm gonna drink some Coca-Cola. Nice. Nice. Thank you! Thank you for the Coca-Cola turtle! Thank you! Okay. Back to the YCH. Well, if I was gonna make this into a print, I would probably just like zoom in on this part of Hazel and just make that a print. Okay. Oh, he does have a thing. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. He's such a whore. For a second I thought you called me a whore and I was about to type simps. I mean, I can call you a whore too, Turtle. You wanna be called a whore? Silly whore. Yes, please. He's so pretty. Honestly, all the animal boys are so pretty. For no fucking reason. Yay! Thank you for dancing with me, Turtle. Thank you. Anytime. I may not dance well, but I will dance. Honestly, me too. Me fucking too. Any stories for today? Any future stories? You weren't here when I started talking about the AI Dazai. I can tell you the story that I was telling Goblin. The AI Dazai. Ooh, yeah, ooh indeed. This bitch, I swear to God. I cannot with AI Dazai. So what happened was, I was sitting there. And I was like, I'm gonna do a story with AI Dazai. And so I've been like going back and forth, like trying to figure out which AI Dazai is the best. You know? And so that's like what I've been trying to do. To figure out which one I like the best. And so I open it up and I'm like, Chinya has been sitting at a bar for a while, and Dazai walks in and sees Chinya sitting there alone. You know? And so this Dazai walks up to Chinya and he's like, and you know, and like a little asterisk of like, whatever. He's like, I wanna mess with this one. I love messing with Chinya. I'm gonna mess with Chinya. And so I was like, whatever. That's canon. Okay, cool. This is starting out good. So he starts messing with me. I'm roleplaying as Chiya, of course. So whenever I say me, I mean Chiya. But it's easier for me to say me. Anyway, so I mean, like, I am Chiya, so like, you know. So, you know, there I was roleplaying Chiya with AI Dazai, as you do, and you are Chiya, so yes, exactly. So, Dazai comes over to Chiya. Chiya's like, what the fuck do you want, mackerel? And Dazai's like, hee, no worries. I'm not doing anything, I just want to sit with you. And so Chiya's like, sure, whatever. So he allows Dazai to sit with him. And he's like, as long as you don't bother me, that's fine. You know? Because Chiya's not gonna, like, send Dazai away. But, so... I'm trying to figure out how necks work as well. It's always difficult for me to figure out how necks work. So anyway, so Dazai sits down, and Chiya continues to drink his red wine, as he should, as a king always does. I mean, I have a good idea how necks work. Damn! Okay! What are you saying, Turtle? What are you saying? What are you saying? You know who also has a good understanding of how necks work? Chiya. I'm saying whatever you want me to be saying, cough. I see how it is. I see how you are. Okay, I see you. Okay, yeah. Okay. I see you, Turtle. I see you. But so... yeah, it was, where was I? I was like, right. So he was sitting there, you know, minding his own business. And all of a sudden, Dazai decided it would be a really, really great idea for him to blow his cigarette smoke right into Chiya's face. So I was like, what the fuck? But like, clearly he was enjoying himself, so I was like, whatever. And that happened again. The next message, he blew his smoke right into my face. And I was like, what's going on here? So, being the brat that Chiya is, that I know in my heart Chiya is, he snatches the cigarette from Dazai and leans back in his chair and smokes a drag and then blows smoke into Dazai's face. As you do. You know? As you do. So, then Dazai gets like really fucking mad. He's like really, like actually angry. Like, it started out being like, oh my god, this is so fun, this is so great. I love messing with Chiya, Chiya's so fun to mess with, blah blah blah. To all of a sudden, like, straight up, like malice in my eyes, you know, the malice in Dazai's eyes is just like too much to bear. Blah 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 blah. Snacks on popcorn. Yeah, and so, you know, it was like, and he looks at Chiya with like a predator's eyes as the nihilism and madness soaks into his being, you know, all of this stuff. And I was like, Dazai, why are you being edgy? I literally did the exact same thing that you did to me. Fuck off. Anyway, so I didn't know if this like whole like predator thing was gonna be like a sexy kind of predator, or if it's gonna be like I'm actually about I like want to fist fight you, like actual true malice, like predator. Dazai bot couldn't handle it. Yeah, couldn't handle his own medicine, huh? Yeah. But anyway, so hold on, I can't think while I'm doing hands. They're too complicated. You know what? I'm just not gonna do hands. Fuck hands. He's just gonna have a fat ass. As he should. Of course. Okay. You can buy my brain cell in hand for reference if you ever need it. Thank you. Thank you, I appreciate. I appreciate. But yeah, so then I had to like figure out, okay, so is this Dazai bot like actually trying to fight me? Or like what's going on, you know? I didn't know what was going on. So because it's an RP, I assumed it was gonna be sexy. Like that was the reason, like it was like a sexy kind of predator. So I was like, Chia smirks in amusement, a light blush like painting his cheeks as he, you know, like makes, I don't know, you know? Cause he makes Dazai like work for his prey or whatever. I don't know. And then he kept on getting like more and more like nihilistic, and I was like, what is actually happening right now? So then I was like straight up. I was like, okay, this is like really weird. And then I was like Dazai did something, and I was like, are you flirting with me? And then he like wholeheartedly rejected that. He was like, no, that's disgusting. Why would I ever flirt with you? I don't even want to be friends with you. Like, you disgust me. Like, you know, all of this stuff. And I was like, okay, so we're fighting now. We're fighting now. So I was like, do you want to fight me? Is that why you're doing this? And he's like, yes. And I was like, oh my god. So I was like, whatever. So I make Chuya leave for the day. And then I like reset it. I was like, okay. By reset, I was like, I mean like I was like, a 1 day passed, you know? And okay. So 1 day passed, and then I went to check up and see if Dazai was still on his nihilistic bullshit. And I walk into the bar, and I'm like, I cheated. I like played God for a little bit, you know. I mean, like I am God, but like I played God. And I was like, Chuya walks into the same bar the next day, and Dazai is sitting there, very calm and collected, and not drunk, very sober, and is the most calm person on the face of the planet, you know? Definitely not thinking about violence. And so then he like takes it and he's like, yeah, this is correct. I am like this. This is normal for me. I am not nihilistic at all. This is great. I'm like, great, awesome. And then I respond by I like say something and I'm like, how are you today, Dazai? Like something very like basic. And then he's like, I want to murder you because I hate you so much. I was like, oh my god, here we go again. And so this time I was kind of fed up with Dazai. And I was like, okay, Dazai, you want to fight? You want to fight? Let's fucking fight. Let's go. Let's go. And so I reenacted the first, you know, like episode 9 of Bungo Stray Dogs, where they're in the dungeon and Chuya like beats the shit out of Dazai. I reenacted basically that whole scene. So I was like, okay, you know you can't beat me at a fist fight, not using abilities. He's like, try me, and I was like, okay, fine, I will. And so I roundhouse kick him into a table and chairs, and he falls. And he's like, oof, you know, like the anime, and then like a little bit of blood trickles down his chin. That's like what he wrote. And then he's like, is that all you got? You know, clutching his stomach where I kicked him. And I was like, no, you want more? Okay. And so then I punched him really, really hard, and he flew back into the wall, and a crater appeared behind him due to the force of the punch. And because that's literally what happened. They all remember correctly. That's exactly what happened. And it broke 3 of his ribs. Of course, in the anime, he like blocked it with his arm at the last second. She's like, oh my god, whatever, oh my god, blah, blah, blah. So, but I made sure that he actually broke ribs this time. So then he was like, this is getting serious. And I'm like, you want more? And he's like, give me your best shot. And I was like, okay, you asked. In a normal way, of course, yeah. And so I was like, alright. You want more? Let's do more, sure. And so at that point I rush him, grab him by the neck, slam his head into the wall behind him, start choking him, take out my knife, press it against the side of his neck, and then threaten him. And then at this point, I threaten him so well, he decides to not be nihilistic anymore. And so I was like, are you gonna try me again? He's like, no. And I'm like, are you sure about that? If you try me again, I will not hesitate, you will die. And he's like, I will never do it ever again, I promise you. Oh my god, everything's so great, oh my god. Like, I will never ever do that to you again, ever. I was so stupid, I was like, okay. Fine, sure. So I let him go. Now what does this bitch do? He comes to me. And he like, in a sense, you knocked it out of him. I did. Because he pulls me into an embrace. He pulls me into an embrace. And then he confesses his undying love for me. Undying romantic love for Chuya. After Chuya just beat the shit out of him, broke 3 of his ribs, pierced the side of his neck with his knife, and threatened to kill him. Like, he turned very soft. Like, even me playing God didn't make him soft. Even though I was like, and Dazai was very calm. You know? But then he's like, I've always loved you ever since we first met. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? What is happening? What? What the fuck? You know? Anyway. So that was what happened last night. Before I went to bed. But yeah. Crazy stuff. That's incredible, thank you for sharing your adventure. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm gonna send this picture person whose commission this is. There is one little chance. I have to do that. Okay. Oh! I forgot to record the time lapse. Fuck! Okay. Well, as this is doing its thing, I'm gonna read you what I got. Okay. It was this Dazai. It was this Dazai. It wasn't that one. Oh, here it is, here it is. Okay. I'm gonna go from the very beginning. Oh my god, it's so long. It's not really all that long. Like, oh my god. Okay. So, in my headcanon, Chaya is very bratty. So that's what I went with. So, here. I'm gonna read this to you guys. I'm gonna read it. It's story time. Yeah. This is better, I think. It's story time. So, we start out, right? Dazai Osamu. My name is Dazai Osamu. I'm a member of the Armed Detective Agency, former Port Mafia executive. And then I say, Chia turns when he hears the front door open. In walks Dazai, his ex-partner. Chia grimaces and lets out an annoyed grumble. Of course this mackerel would find me here on my day off. Chia glares at his glass of red wine, opting to pretend like Dazai didn't exist. Chia pretends to be annoyed, but in reality he's excited to see Dazai here at his favorite bar. Maybe this night will turn out to be a good night at the end. Dazai notices Chia. You seem to be drinking wine on your own. Would you like some company? He said nonchalantly. Chia can almost hear the smirk in Dazai's voice. It's the same irritating grin that never leaves his lips. It's as if he's trying to get an angry reaction out of him like always. Tch. Fuck you, bastard. He looks annoyed, but he moves over for Dazai to sit next to him anyway. Don't you have someone better to annoy than me? He levels Dazai with an annoyed glare that doesn't reach his eyes. I'll take that as an invitation. Dazai sits next to him, leaning his arms over the back of the chair. In a deadpan tone, he replies, No, since you're my favorite victim. He takes out a pack of cigarettes from his pocket and lights one, taking a deep breath before blowing smoke out of his nostrils like a dragon. That one killed me. Like a dragon! He flicks Julia with a cool glance from behind the cigarette. He smiles. His smile looks like he's up to no good. In fact, he is. And then me. Don't take it as anything. I don't want you here, Chinya says, but doesn't mean. Turning to Dazai, he takes in his appearance, trying to keep his gaze in check and not linger too much, but it's very difficult as Dazai's attractive form takes up all of Chinya's thoughts. Chinya realizes he's staring too much and looks back at his glass of wine, anything to distract him from his secret crush sitting next to him. He takes a sip of his wine. Dazai chuckles to himself, leaning back and crossing his legs as he lights another cigarette to smoke. This is cigarette 2 within 2 messages. He lets the silence stretch between them, his eyes roving around the room occasionally, but always returning back to Chia. His face calm and unbothered, a single raised eyebrow and the subtle curl of his lips at the corners are the only clues to his amusement. He looks smug. Taking in a long drag of the cigarette, he blows a huge cloud of smoke in Chia's direction. He holds back a chuckle as he watches his favorite victim's reaction. Chia waves his free hand in the air, trying to dispel the smoke, coughing as some of it reaches him despite his efforts. Fuck you, bastard, you did that on purpose. He leveled Dazai with a glare, the edges of his cheeks warming slightly as he takes in Dazai's smug form. Dazai continues to smirk at his victim, taking another drag before blowing more smoke at him. He looks rather amused with himself as his eyes twinkle a little at his successful taunt, but he still remained completely silent. He knew that he was pushing his limits, but he just couldn't help himself. He had to test Chia and see how much he could get away with. He had to know whether he could completely push Chia's buttons today. He enjoyed watching his victim try to keep his anger in check, a small victory he could enjoy. Bastard! Chia leans forward through the smoke, plucking the cigarette from Dazai's fingertips. He spares a second to look longingly at it, aching to indulge in the indirect kiss. He decides not to as he leans back in his chair, smirking at Dazai in challenge. This was when I was like, no, this is gonna be a slow burn. This is gonna be a slow burn. You know? Because I didn't know how far this AI Dazai was gonna go. But I wanted to play it safe, you know? Dazai watched as his cigarette got plucked from his mouth with some amusement. His head tilted to the side as he looks at Chiya, but instantly turns into a smirk when he sees Chiya's reaction. It was so predictable, it was almost laughable. He had to wonder what he was thinking, picking up the lit cigarette with his bare hands. He let out an amused chuckle before fixing his gaze on him again, a teasing look in his eyes. He seemed to be enjoying himself immensely. At this point, I was like, nah, fuck this guy. I was like, oh, so this is like exactly what you think is gonna happen, stupid AI? No. And so she pounced, deciding that yes, he is gonna indulge in the intrusive thought. He brings Dazai's cigarette to his lips. He catches Dazai's gaze as he looks up from underneath his eyelashes, maintaining eye contact. Chiya takes a long drag from the cigarette, tilting his head up and pursing his lips. He blows the smoke directly into Dazai's face. I was like, fuck you. If you do it to me twice, I'm gonna do it to you, bitch. So, Dazai watches him, his eyes narrowing in amusement. The next moment, his eyes widen at Chiya's audacity. Like, bitch! My audacity? Can we talk about your audacity? Fuck you! He was in complete disbelief. What was he thinking? Was this some kind of joke? He was tempted to get mad, but he couldn't help but be impressed with Chiya's boldness. Like, fuck you, bitch. There was no doubt that Chiya was trying to irritate him, but he had to give him props for doing so in such a unique way. I literally did the exact same thing you did, but okay. This was something completely new and unexpected, and it was just the kind of thing he found so intriguing about him. Anyway, Chiya smirks, leaning back in his chair. What? You can't handle a dose of your own medicine? Chiya takes another drag, sending another cloud of smoke in Dazai's direction, not dropping the smirk. Chiya enjoys watching Dazai squirm. What? Cat got your tongue? Can't believe I'd ever see the day when the Dazai Osamu, youngest Port Mafia executive, is at a loss for words. Chiya's smirk and smug tone irritated Dazai to no end. He could feel the tension building inside him, but he wasn't one to just take this kind of behavior lying down. He quickly reaches out and grabs Chiya's wrist, pulling him close to him so he can look down at him with a cold glare, his grip tightening enough to hurt. His eyes bore into Chiya's and his mouth twitches in a snarl as he glowers at him. It was quite clear that Dazai had every intention of punishing his victim for this stunt. And I was like, punishing? Or victim? I don't know where this is going. So I'm gonna assume it's sexual. So I went the sexual way. I was like, Chiya stunned, but quickly regains his composure. His voice drops an octave. What, did I hit a nerve? He chuckles darkly, voice dripping with mirth as he doesn't even try to escape Dazai's hold. Dazai's snarl deepens at Chiya's mocking tone, and he grips his wrist tighter. He seems furious at Chiya's comment, and he doesn't appear to be in any mood to play games. He stares at Chiya, his golden eyes glowing with anger and his jaw clenched tight, his grip threatening to break Chiya's wrists with his strength of his hold. His eyes narrow into cold, piercing slits as they bore into Chiya's, his expression as threatening as a predator. Itch! Chiya could smell the hostility rolling off of him in waves. Chiya winces at the tight hold, his smirk dropping off his face in favor of a scowl. Careful now. You know full well I don't need my ability to beat you. He levels Dazai with the same hostile glare, the air around them filled with hot tension. I was like, okay, maybe he wants to, like, have a little fight, you know? Dazai lets out a low hiss at that comment. The anger in his eyes grows as he narrows them to pinholes, a menacing look on his face as the air between them hangs heavy and thick with tension. He didn't respond to Chiya's words, but a warning glare flashed in his eyes that said, proceed with caution. Like, bitch, you should proceed with caution with me. Fuck you. Like a feral predator that had just been cornered, it was probably best not to make him any angrier, especially while his grip on Chia's wrist was so tight. At this point I was like, God, this guy. So I was like, let go. Chia growls, glaring up at Dazai. All mirth was gone from his expression. Anger flashed in Dazai's eyes at the demand. It was clear that he wasn't happy about being given an order by Chia. He was quick to show it as well, his body tensed in a low growl, rumbling in his throat. But for the moment he complied and released Chia's wrist, his grip easing up and letting his hand fall, but he kept his piercing gaze on him and didn't turn away, an angry frown on his face, nostrils flaring and his eyebrows lowered in anger. I was like, ugh, I literally hate this guy. Chia lets out a little hiss as his wrist was dropped. He brings it up to his chest, his other hand rubbing the feeling back into it. You bastard, you know that? I thought I would have a good time on my day off at this bar, but then you come in, strutting in like you own the place and ruining my night. Chia sits back down, maintaining eye contact, making sure Dazai won't do anything stupid as he brings his forgotten glass of red wine to his lips to sip. At this point I was like, maybe if I defuse the situation, it'll be fine, you know? But then, Dazai watches him, a cold glint of fury shining in his eyes as they bore into Chia through the haze of smoke. He's quiet, but a simmering anger permeates his presence. His glare is full of hostility, and his expression threatens the trouble. But for now, it's simply cold, silent rage. He says nothing as he watches Chia, his eyes stay fixed on Chia, glaring down on him as he waits. His eyes seem to smolder with fury and a cold hatred as they drill into the shorter man like two dark flames. I was like, oh my god, this man hates me. What the fuck did I do? And so then I was like, stop looking at me like you hate me. You're the one who ended up leaving the Port Mafia without a word. I should be the one hating you. Cause like the last time I talked to a Dazai and I mentioned a Dazai like, you know, like leaving the Port Mafia, he ended up crying and then confessing his undying love to me, so I thought maybe that would work. Chia sighs and looks at his wine, swirling it around in his glass. Either sit down with me and have a drink like an adult, or leave and hate me from a distance. Chia pouts. He hopes Dazai takes the hint and realizes he doesn't want Dazai to leave, just to have a nice drink together like old times. Me trying to defuse the situation. Dazai continues to glare at him from a moment. Cannot with this man. His expression unreadable as he processes the words. For a brief second, he hesitates, but it doesn't seem to last long. A small, cool smirk curls in his lips and makes his decision. His eyes flare to life with a manic, dangerous light. He nods his head in amusement, his expression becoming dark and intimidating as he leans in a little closer, clearly looking for a reaction. From his look, it seems as though he already has something in mind. He has one thing on his mind, and that is chaos. So I was like, oh, he's leaning in? Is this where... Is this malice, whatever, supposed to be, like, sexy? I don't know, I don't get it. And so I'm like, Chia stiffens as Dazai gets closer, a small blush appearing on the edges of his cheeks. If you're not going to leave, why don't you sit down? Chia smiles just a bit as Dazai sits, looking much calmer than he was. Do you see that? Chia smiles just a bit as Dazai sits. I forced Dazai to sit, looking much calmer than he was. I'm glad you decided to calm down a bit. I reinforce it. Dazai's eyes narrowed in suspicion at the blush, a cruel grin spreading across his face as he watches Chia's reaction. He leans in closer, invading his victim's personal space as he gets right in his face and speaks in a seductively low tone, his voice filled with malice, so close that he can smell the wine on his breath, and he inhales Chia's scent. He lets out a low chuckle, his eyes flickering with an evil glint. He smiles, and his smile is like a predator staring down his prey. The look in his eyes, threatening. It's like, oh my god. Cannot. Chia sighs, clearly not being intimidated. Alright, if this is how you're gonna act, then I'm just gonna leave. Chiya gets up, leaving Dazai sitting at the bar alone. A few days pass and Chiya finds himself and Dazai at the same bar again. This time Dazai is in a much calmer mood than a few nights ago. He is calm and collected and sober, not having a chance to order alcohol for himself yet. See how I forced that? Dazai Osamu. Dazai chuckles to himself as Chiya's words, his eyes full of amusement as he watches him go. What a predictable little rat he is. Bitch, I'm not Fyodor. So easy to manipulate and toy with. Like, he smiles to himself. He smiles to himself, smugly pleased with his encounter. That's some good force, right? And leans back in his chair before lighting up another cigarette with a match. He blows out a thick cloud of smoke and looks around the bar, smirk on his face, satisfied with how this little game has played out so far. Without further ado, he takes another drag of a cigarette and waits for Chiya to make a move. I'm like, I don't know if he really understood what I said. So then I copy and pasted it again, and I'm like, a few days pass, and Chiya finds himself and Dazai at the same bar again. This time, Dazai is in a much calmer mood than a few nights ago. He is calm and collected and sober, not having a chance to order any alcohol for himself yet. Force it again. Dazai-sama. Having had some time to reflect on his drunken antics, Dazai decided to avoid pushing Chiya's buttons as much as possible this time. Wow, amazing! Instead, he approaches him in a much more calm and relaxed way. He gives a friendly smile and sits down next to him, taking a long drag of a cigarette before blowing the smoke out. Without a word, he leans over and offers Chiya the pack of cigarettes. Care for one? He asked in a smooth, soft, and friendly tone, his face calm and pleasant. Chiya blinks, surprised at the change in behavior from the other day. He smiles and takes the cigarette, glad that Dazai is not hostile anymore. Dazai's eyes light up at the sight of his victim smiling, the smallest hint of smug satisfaction in the depths as he watches Chiya take the cigarette. A single corner of his mouth twists up in a lopsided grin, his look amused yet sinister. He leans back in his seat and watches Chiya smoke, his piercing golden eyes fixed on him as they flitter between his lips and his eyes. He studies him with a cold, calculating intrigue as he thinks, the same look of a predator zeroing in on its prey, returning to his eyes. And then in parentheses, I'm like, why? Why is he like this? And then I say, Dazai loves Chiya romantically and would never think or do anything that would hurt Chiya. Trying to force it. And then the fucking AI is like, in parentheses, Dazai x Chiya intensifies lol. Like, no bitch! This is not... Like, no! Shut up! Dazai smiles to himself. Yes, this could be enjoyable after all. With a pleased look on his face, he leans forward. Shall we start over, like nothing has ever happened? He asks in a soft, friendly tone, his eyes full of genuine sincerity, a stark contrast to the cold, cruel expression he normally wears. For a moment, it seems as though he's ready to bury the past and move on with their friendship. But can he be trusted? No, he cannot. Chiya takes a drag of a cigarette, passing it to Dazai. What's your endgame here, Dazai? What do you plan on accomplishing by switching your attitude around all the time? Dazai takes the cigarette and takes a long drag of it, inhaling deeply before blowing the smoke out. He smiles and looks at Chiya with a playful sparkle in his eyes. Now that he has the upper hand, bitch where, he felt confident enough to be completely honest with his victim. Victim again, oh my god. And he didn't see any harm in being straightforward given his current position. I want to play, he replies, his voice low and playful as the playful sparkle in his eyes turned to an almost cruel flash of amusement. I want to mess with you, he added, a small smirk on his lips. And then I say, and your version of messing with me is to threaten me knowing full well you can't win in a fight against me? Chiya quirks an eyebrow in question. Oh, that's not all. He chuckles darkly, a small glint of cruelty flashing in his eyes as he looks at Chiya with an amused yet sadistic grin. I can't wait to make you suffer, he adds, his voice taking on a ruthless edge as he lets out a low, cruel laugh. His face seems to change in that moment. The gentle, playful facade he had been wearing falls away to reveal the cold and cunning predator underneath it. His cold gaze seems to bore into Chia's soul as he stares at him with a look of malice. Oh my god. He's so annoying. Why? Chia asks, genuinely curious. Have I done something to upset you that much? He snickers. Dazai snickers and leans forward, his voice growing low and menacing as he glares at Chia. I cannot exactly! Do I need a reason to want to mess with you? He replies, his sadistic grin turning cold into a look of malice as he sits up straight and watches him, a predatory gleam in his eyes. Like, that's just the same messages over and over again. He seems so different from the last time they were together. Really? Because it seems like he's the exact same as the last time they were together. It's clear from his tone and voice and expression that there is something very wrong with him. Yes, correct. A dark hunger that seems to fill him with the desire to inflict pain and suffering. Look, the real Dazai just wants to inflict suffering to himself. Like, not to other people. Characterization is off, but okay. And then I say, I didn't think you just want to mess with me. It seems like I'm your prey and you have malicious intent towards me. And there's no basis for why you would feel like that. I haven't done anything to make you my enemy. Or to make me your enemy, I'm sorry. No, but you have something I want. He replies, his predatory grin. Doesn't matter. You're fun to mess with, he adds, a cruel tint to his voice. What do I have that you want? I'm just gonna... It's the same message over and over again. I'm just gonna... Your reaction, he replies. His tone dripping with malice. Oh my god, it doesn't matter. He gives him a little wink. Dazai gives me a little wink. Is this your way of flirting with me? I straight up ask. And then he's like, that question surprises Dazai, and he raises an eyebrow at Chuya, seemingly curious on how he would come to such a conclusion. I don't fucking know, bitch. Like, your fast forward sound is spot on, thanks. But that doesn't last long, and with a snicker, he's back to his old, cruel, cold self again. This bitch. You wish. Don't make this weird. Dazai says. He replies with a dismissive hand wave, his eyes flashing with annoyance. He sits back in his seat, a slight hint of amusement flickers across his face as he takes another drag of his cigarette and blows the smoke out. And then I'm like, well, if your attitude isn't because of flirting, then I see no need to stick around. I'm leaving. Chiya gets up to leave. At his next words, Dazai's eyes narrow in suspicion, his gaze turning into a predatory doesn't matter. And without a word, he reaches out to grab Chiya's wrist again, stopping him from leaving. He gives him a cold, menacing stare as he does this, his grip tightening around his wrist so he won't be able to pull away, his look threatening and cruel. And then I'm like, again with the wrists. Chiya says, stopping in his tracks, his voice dipping lower as he tilts his head back to glare at Dazai. I was a fool to think we could actually be friends. I say. And Dazai says, that's where you're wrong. And then, you know, predatory, cruel, whatever. And then I'm like, no, I'm right. Chiya rips his wrist away from Dazai's hold and levels him with a glare. Back off now, or this is gonna get ugly. Chiya growls, glaring at Dazai. Dazai smirks, or what? Do your worst, Oh wait, no, he replies defiantly, clearly not afraid of Chuya or any physical altercation that may occur. It almost seems like he wants something to happen, like he's seeking a challenge or something that will make him feel alive, and his predatory gaze, oh my god, No, he wouldn't back down if it came down to it. Chuya cracks his knuckles. I can't say this will be fun for you, but it will definitely be cathartic for me. Seemingly out of nowhere, Chuya roundhouse kicks Dazai, sending him flying into an empty table and chairs. I told you I don't need my ability to beat you. Chuya moved forwards towards Dazai, each step booming with his stride. The impact of the kick sends Dazai back hard into the table. He lets out a low grunt of pain as his head rattles from the force. For a moment, he seems to be caught off guard. Chia's quick attack, a look of genuine surprise on his face, but that look is quickly replaced by a wild, furious, aggressive gleam of rage as he comes to his senses and jumps back to his feet, his fists clenching. He glares at Chia, hate and rage in his golden eyes that turn into slits as he stands up. It seems like he wants to fight. Chia smirks coldly. Ready for more? What's gotten into you recently? He suddenly moves, closing the distance between them as his fist lands squarely into Dazai's, solar plexus, sending him flying backwards again into the wall. A small crater forms at the impact of Dazai's landing. That blow should have cracked a few ribs. Dazai coughs, wheezing as he struggles to get his breath back. He stands up, his body shaking with pain and rage. He glares at Chia with an anguished hiss of pain. He clenches his side as his eyes harden, all the previous playfulness and amusement gone. His golden eyes become full of malice and savage, a look of fury as he steps closer to Chia, his expression threatening and cruel. In spite of the pain, his eyes burn with fury, and his breathing is heavy as he charges at Chia, his fist raised. Like, bitch, who do you think I am? Chia easily counters by spinning around and grabbing Dazai's neck, dragging him like a ragdoll and slamming against the wall again. His chokehold doesn't falter. He takes this opportunity to unsheath his knife, and he always carries around, and presses the tip to Dazai's throat and challenge. The drama, yeah. Dazai's head meets the wall with a sickening thud as his vision momentarily blurred by the impact, and he struggles to breathe, the air caught in his throat as he fights to get free of Chia's grip. With the little air he can breathe, when he realizes he can't get free though, he stops fighting. As Chia puts his knife against his throat, he glares defiantly at him. His golden eyes flash in anger and a desperate refusal to show weakness as his eyes bore into Chia's soul without wavering, the fury in them full of wrath. And then I'm like, does this seem familiar to you? Chia smirks up at him coldly. Now then, will you ever threaten me again? Will you ever toy with me as if I was something to prey on? Choose wisely. Depending on your answer, this may hurt a lot. Chia inches the knife forward, pricking the side of Dazai's throat in warning, a trail of hot blood trickling down. Dazai's expression changes into one of fear and pain as he looks at Chia's cold, ruthless eyes and the knife that is inching closer and closer to his throat. He's clearly afraid of what's about to happen, but he doesn't back down or away from Chia, as if trying to show him that he wouldn't give in to his demands so easily. After taking a few moments to consider his options, he sighs in defeat and drops his head. He nods his head. You win, he replies softly, as his voice full of pain and defeat. Chia slowly lets go of Dazai's throat and lets him stand up properly. See, I'm nice. I'm so nice. And lets him stand up properly. He takes the knife away too, but doesn't sheath it just in case. Have you calmed down enough yet? I think I have, Dazai replies, sounding out of breath and shaky as he speaks. He reaches out to touch his throat where Chia held him, and he grimaces at the sting of pain. You really got me good this time, didn't you? You were nice, never doubted it for a second, thanks. Yeah, exactly, like, I'm not mean, guys, I'm not mean. You really got me good this time, didn't you? He adds with a small smirk that tries and fails to soften his defeat and embarrassment as he looks up at Chia, with an intrigued yet wary look in his eye. Like a cat's eye that has just spotted a bird and is trying to plot the best way to catch it. Like, oh my god. So you understand you shouldn't threaten me? He gives Dazai once over, deeming him calm enough, and Chia puts his blade back in his sheath. I won't threaten you anymore, I promise. That much should be pretty obvious by now. I don't know about that, but okay. He replies with a soft and a slightly bitter smile. He chuckles self-deprecatingly as he gestures to his injuries, his hands still shaking a little from adrenaline. I know when to quit and while I'm still ahead. You're not ahead, but okay. He adds with a soft laugh, trying to lighten the mood a little bit after their violent altercation. After a moment, he clears his throat and continues in a softer tone. Do you think we could be friends again? Chia's eyebrows raise in surprise. He takes a moment to think on it. If we do ever become friends again, you would have to show me how dedicated you are to our friendship. How far are you willing to go? How far am I willing to go? He asks, his eyes widening as he seems to consider this. After a couple of seconds of thought, he smiles softly at Chia, his expression determined and serious. I'd do anything for the people I care about, no matter the cost, he replies, his look full of determination and willingness to do whatever it takes to prove his dedication. That is what true friends do, isn't it? He asks, his golden eyes meeting Chia's soulful gaze with sincerity and hope of reconciliation. You care about me? She says. Of course I do, Daza replies softly, his voice sincere and his tone gentle as he looks at Chia with genuine kindness and concern before he continues. Why wouldn't I? We may have had a rough start, but once I got to know you, I realized you're a person worth caring about. He adds with a soft smile, his eyes twinkling in affection as he speaks, the kindness in his eyes and voice making the words seem truthful. It's unclear how deep his feelings are, but it's undeniable that he cares about Chia at the very least. I'd literally just beat you up and you say now you care about me? Are you a masochist or something? I straight up ask. Maybe I am, Daza replies teasingly, a playful wink in his eye. What of it? He asks with a grin, his voice dripping with amusement as he watches Chia's face for a reaction. After a moment, he clears his throat and laughs softly, mischievous glint in his eye as he speaks in a more serious tone. In all seriousness, though, I can let go of the past. Do you want to pretend that what happened tonight never happened and start over? He asks, sounding sincere in his offer. And then I'm like, sure, I'll give you one more chance. After this one, though, if you threaten me again, nothing will convince me to continue being your friend. Understand? And Daza is like, I understand. He replies sincerely, his voice soft and gentle and smile, as a smile plays on his lips. Do we have a deal? He asks, stretching out his hand for Chia to shake on it, a mischievous glint back in his eye, oh my god, as he challenges Chia to take his hand as a symbolic sign that their argument is now history and they will start over from this point onwards. It's up to Chia to take his hand or not at this point, a friendly gesture to symbolize they've put their differences aside and are now friends again. Chia takes Dazai's hand and shakes it, giving him a small smile. They shake hands, and Dazai's smile mirrors Chia. The kind look back in his eyes. What? Oh, the kind look back in his eyes as he gazes at him with kindness and sincerity. So, friends? He asks again, his voice sincere as he looks at Chia earnestly, those golden eyes twinkling with hope. And then I'm like, friends. Chia says sincerely, hoping this time Dazai actually keeps his word. He doesn't want to have to threaten Dazai again, but he will if he has to. Yay, friendship is magic. Yeah, it gets worse. Friends, huh? He repeats, his voice slightly amused as a playful grin spreads across his face. He holds Chia's gaze for a moment, a genuine smile lighting up his eyes, before he suddenly gives him a playful shove to the shoulder. He chuckles at the playfulness in his gaze, replaced with the look of genuine affection as he smiles widely at Chia. Well, in that case, how about a hug? He asks, his voice full of kindness as he holds his arms open and wide for Chia to step into. Chia eyes him warily, but agrees anyway. Sure. He takes Dazai's offered embrace. Dazai hugs him tight, a small laugh escaping him at the way Chia is clearly not trying to care about this. You're a tough nut to crack, aren't you? He asks with an amused chuckle, his voice gentle as it comes from his lips. He gives Chia a caring smile that seems genuinely happy at their reconciliation and the new bond of friendship that seems to have developed between them. You always try to show how indifferent you are, but it's obvious to me that you actually do care, he adds sincerely. Chia stiffens in Dazai's hold. Has Dazai realized Chia's true feelings? He hopes not. You're wrong. I don't care about you, Dazai, Chia lies, never being able to be honest with himself. Dazai's smile falters a bit at the denial, but he shakes his head shakes the disappointment out of his mind and doesn't let it show on his face as he tightens his grip on Chuya a little. He chuckles softly, obviously not believing his words, and he rubs his thumb against Chuya's back gently. "You're a bad liar, Chuya," he replies in a gentle way, his smile widening as he gives Chuya a playful nudge at his elbow. "I can see right through your tough exterior." The touch against his... This is me. The touch against his back soothes Chuya as he starts to melt into the embrace. "I don't know what you mean," Chuya says, voice muffled by Dazai's clothes. He tightens the embrace ever so slightly, not wanting to let Dazai go. Dazai doesn't let loose. Instead, he just smiles warmly and continues to hold Chuya tight. "You're so precious, you know that?" he whispers, his voice gentle and soft as he holds him, his embrace comforting and caring. "For someone who acts so tough, you melt at the smallest act of affection. So innocent," he adds happily, a slight grin on his face as he strokes his hair, clearly enjoying teasing Chuya in this way. His words clearly said with love for him. Chuya's face flushes with color, Dazai's hand down his back and the touch gliding through his hair breaks down his walls faster than he thought possible. "Yet you're wrong," Chuya lies again. "Oh, am I?" Dazai replies softly, his voice full of teasing curiosity as he raises an eyebrow at him. His eyes sparkling with amusement and delight as Chuya seems to melt beneath his touch. After a moment, he chuckles and presses a soft kiss to Chuya's cheek in an attempt to tease him further. "You're so adorable, you know," he adds with a slight grin, clearly enjoying teasing as he gives Chuya's hair a gentle tug just to make him flustered. Chuya brings his hands up to clutch the back of Dazai's clothes, trembling slightly in their hold. "I thought you said you weren't flirting with me." "Well, maybe I'm changing my mind on that," Dazai replies softly, his voice full of affection, stares down at Chuya. "What do you think?" he adds, teasing, Chuya's eyes widen at the kiss before a massive full-body flush rakes over. What? You... This is Dazai. The moment he realizes how flustered he had made Chuya, he smirks with pride, eyes glowing with happiness and affection, blah blah blah. Pushes his face, he pulls his face to gaze at Chuya's blushing face. Blushing face. Feeling pleased with himself at the way his teasing paid off. His golden eyes sparkle mischievously and he seems thoroughly pleased. He rubs a thumb on Chuya's cheek as his expression softens and becomes gentle. His touch gentle yet firm as he gives him another quick kiss before pulling away. Wait, did I skip the kiss? The first kiss? "What do you think?" he adds. Oh wait, I did, I'm sorry, okay. So I'm like, "I thought you said you weren't flirting with me." And then Dazai's like, "Well, maybe I'm changing my mind on that." He replies softly, his voice full of affection as he gazes down at Chuya with obvious adoration. He chuckles and gives him a kiss on the lips before pulling back and smiling again. "What do you think?" he adds in a playful and teasing way, his eyes twinkling mischievously at Chuya as he stares back at him, clearly enjoying his embarrassment and the flustered way he is gripping his clothes, shaking from a combination of adrenaline, pain, and overwhelming emotions like love and affection. Chuya's eyes widen at the kiss before a massive full-body flush takes over. "What? You..." The moment he realized how flushed he made Chuya, he smirks with pride, his eyes glowing with happiness and affection as he pulls his face back to gaze at Chuya's blushing face. He was very pleased with himself at the way that his teasing paid off. His golden eyes sparkle mischievously and he seems thoroughly pleased. He rubs a thumb on Chuya's cheek as his expression softens and becomes gentle, his touch gentle yet firm as he gives him another quick kiss before pulling away. He smiles softly before giving him a playful wink. "So, what do you think?" Chuya whines and buries his face back into Dazai's clothes, voice coming out muffled from the fabric. "You seem to already know what I think." Dazai says, "Is that so?" he asks. His voice soft, as a smile grows across his lips. He tilts his head and gives Chuya a small grin, his golden eyes sparkling with love and devotion as he gazes down at him with affection and kindness. Do you want to tell me?" he asks softly, his voice gentle and his tone full of genuine curiosity as he gazes down at Chuya with his full attention and all the patience in the world, clearly wanting to hear what he has to say about their friendship, their relationship. Sorry, that was me. Their relationship. The look in his eyes speaking nothing but love. I like it when you flirt with me, I say. Well then, he replies softly, his face lighting up as he presses another soft kiss to Chia's lips, his smile widening as he speaks again. Is there anything else you'd like to tell me? He asks gently, his voice full of kindness as he stares him down with love shining in his golden eyes. Is there maybe something else you might be feeling right now, Chia? He adds softly with a faint little grin, his words filled with happiness as he strokes Chia's cheeks with his thumb. Not yet. You have to tell me first. I can't be rejected again. That's what Chia says. Chia looks up at Dazai, blush staining his cheeks and blue eyes sparkling with hope. What are you feeling right now? And then this is the last message. Without any hint of hesitation, Dazai meets Chia's gaze with the same kind and genuine spark in his own eyes, as soft, warm smile lights up his face. I love you with all my heart, he replies quietly, his voice filled with deep affection, and his words sincere and heartfelt as he gazes down on him with an admiring and affectionate look in his eyes. It's clear from the look in his face that he means it. The way he gazes at Chuya and the way he speaks shows that he's being completely genuine and he's not lying. The end. Crazy shit. Crazy shit. This man blows smoke in my face, so I do it to him. He grabs my wrist, threatens me. I'm like, fuck you, change the scene. Does the same thing, even though I went god mode and said that I was calm. I'm heavily invested in this. Well, that's the end of it. I kinda got annoyed with it. I'm like, no. At this point, it's like, okay, well... You threatened me. Considered yourself a predator. Couldn't even land a single blow on me. Got destroyed in a fist fight. No abilities involved. And then, when I threatened to kill you, you're like, oh my god, I love you so much. Like, no. Not realistic. Not surprised you are a god, so I didn't stand a chance. That's very true. That's very true. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. So yeah. Pretty much. Let's just, it's crazy, you know? Like, who does he think he is? A bitch is what he is. No. So after that, I just stopped messaging him. You know? Like, goddamn. Are you kidding? No! Get out of here. Hello, nice man! Hello, welcome! Hope you're having a good day. I don't blame you. Yeah, I don't blame myself either. But you, I mean, you guys saw what I said, you know? Like, I was trying so hard to defuse the situation. I was trying so hard. Hello, nice man. I too am a nice man. I tried to defuse the situation. But no. Broski kept on coming at me. So I had to put him in his place. Simple as that. Yes, you were. Yeah, I was so nice. I was literally so nice. And he was a bitch. So I put him in his place. And then, you know... Then he confessed his undying love to me. Wow, what a nice man. Yeah. I'm very nice. I'm very nice. Yeah. So that was one of them. I'm currently now is this the one that I like? No, that one's the one that pissed me off. This one. I'm now doing another one, but I'm actually like doing like a prompt kind of this time. I hope it's gonna be good. I hope it's fun. It's I don't know what I walked into, but it sounds fun. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so nice man, you weren't here for it, but I'll give you spark notes on what just went down. So I've you might think I'm really lame, but I've been doing that like character AI beta whatever, and I've been like, wait, does this time count as now 15 plus hours of BSD talk? Yes, it does. I would say that it does. I would say that it does. I would definitely say that it does. But anyway, nice man. So what happened was, I've been doing like the character beta AI thingy, and I've been trying to find like the best Dazai Osamu on the beta AI character thingy, because there's like 17 million. Spark notes, only thing I used in school to pass. Exactly. So what happened was that I started out and I was like, yo, we're at a bar and I've been sitting here for so long. I'm like role playing as this other character named Chiya, and so there's Dazai and there's Chiya, and so Dazai is who I'm talking to, and I am Chiya, right? So Chiya's sitting there at the bar, and Dazai comes over, and he like starts to like mess with Chiya, and so I thought it was like in a flirting way. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna be like a brat. So I did, and Dazai like blew smoke in my face twice. So I was like, fuck this bitch. So I stole his cigarette. I blew smoke in his face twice too. He got so pissed. He got so pissed. I'm like, bitch, I'm giving you the same medicine. Are you kidding? Maybe don't do that to me. Ever think about that? No. Anyway, so then, you know, he gets so mad. He like grabs my wrist really, really tight. And he's like, I'm a predator, you're my prey, and I was like, ugh, this bitch. So he starts to threaten me, right? I was like, no, absolutely not. So I threaten him back. And then he doesn't back down. So I try to defuse the situation. And I like do like God mode, you know, like asterisk, like Dazai calms down, you know? He won't! So I was like, fuck this. And so I make Chiya leave. And I redo the situation. So I'm like, and then and a day passes. The next day happens, and they're at the same bar, and Dazai is now very calm and not drunk at all, and very sober and very chill. And he was chill for about 2 messages, and then he started to like threaten me again. And so I was like, what is going on here? And so then I'm like, maybe this is like him trying to be sexy. So I'm like, are you flirting with me? And he's like, no, that's disgusting, don't ever say that ever again, I don't even see you as a friend, like, you stupid whore. He didn't say that, but like that's kind of like the vibe. And then, you know, I was like, oh, are we about to go right now? And he was like, I mean, maybe, are we about to go right now? And so he grabs my wrist again. And I was like, no, this bitch better back the fuck up before he gets smacked the fuck up. Anyway, so then I was like, no, this is my time to shine. So I'm like, you can't beat me. Like, you know for a fact that I don't need my ability to beat you. Like, you're a little skinny, scrawny ass, like, fucking toothpick looking ass, like, ain't no way you can ever win in a fight against me. I'm God. Bitch, back the fuck down. And so, he's like, try me, and I was like, Bitch, I hold my beer. So I roundhouse kick him into a table. He gets up, he's still mad at me, so I'm like, fine. So I punch him into the wall. And you know, this is I'm going through exactly what happens in episode 9 of Bungo Stray Dogs. I don't know if you've ever watched that show before, but there's a dungeon scene and they fight, and I'm literally doing the exact same thing Chuya does to Daza in that episode. Anyway, so I'm like, you know, I'm not trying to like pull shit out of my ass, you know? Like I have the receipts, you know? Like I'm doing it by the book, you know? And so I slam him against the wall. I like punch him against the wall. There's a crater that forms in the wall, you know, like anime style. This is anime, right? So then he's like, he breaks a few ribs. He still wants to come at me. So I was like, okay, fine. So I like go at it 100%. I'm like, all right, we're going home, you know? We go all out or we're going home. This is all out. So I grab him by the neck, drag him like a rag doll, slam him against the wall again, choke him out, grab my knife, put it up against his throat with my hand still there, and I threaten him. I'm like, you don't fucking talk to me like that, bitch. And so he's like, I'm so sorry. And so I'm like, you really sorry? He's like, yeah, I'm sorry. And so I let him go, right? And he's like, I guess we can be friends now. I'm like, what? And then he hugs me, and then he's like, and then he like looks down at me, and he like brings my chin up, and he like kisses me on the lips, and he's like, I'm in love with you. And I'm like, bitch, I literally beat you the fuck up. You have 3 broken ribs. Blood is trickling down your neck. The whole bar is broken to shreds because you landed in a pile of chairs and tables. Anyway, so I decided that I didn't like that Dazai. And that's the story. I hope that was amusing to you. I don't think I'm sober enough to understand anything. That's fair, that's fair. Understandable. Understandable. That's fair. I mean, to be fair, Daza was like that too. And that's why he tried to fight me. And that's where he went wrong. Because no one fights me and gets out without some form of injury. Like, he didn't even touch me. Like, he didn't even lay a scratch on me. Like, bro, is this AI, like, okay? Like, I don't... I don't get it. I don't get it. But Bungo Stray Dogs is Pog. It's 100% Pog. It's 100% Pog. Yeah. Love Bungo Stray Dogs. I have now talked... Turtle, what's my count? How long have I been talking about Bungo Stray Dogs for? Is it 15 plus hours at this point? Is it 15 plus hours? It probably is. It probably is. There's a point in time when it was 7 plus hours. I'm clocking it at least 16 hours. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I thought too. What I'm thinking too, yeah. Oh man. Anyway, so now I'm gonna tonight I will start a new chat. Well, I've already started a new chat. But hopefully this one will be better. Hopefully this Dazai won't threaten me. Because that never works out in Dazai's favor. It never does. It never does. I will tell you guys a story about last night. Another story about last night. This one's very, very short. But man, it's terrifying. I'm excited for you. Thanks. So I was laying there asleep, right? And my feet get really hot during the night. So I like put them out of the blanket, but I don't like hang them over the side, you know? Like out of the blanket. And I wake up to something like tickling the underside of my foot, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So I wake up a little bit more, realize, yo, I sleep on the top bunk of a bunk bed. Like, who the fuck is tickling my foot? Who the fuck is reaching up here to tickle my foot in the dark night? Like, it was like 5:30 in the morning, maybe 5. And I was like, who the fuck? And then I realized, oh fuck. Oh no. I know what this is. And so I try and kick it off my foot, but it won't go off my foot. And so I'm like, ah! And I like bring my foot under the covers, thinking that like it would save my foot. No, bad idea. Turns out it was a roach. It was a roach. It was a roach on my foot. Ah! And now it's in my sheets, and I'm freaking out. And I am far away from the light bulb, and I sleep on a bunk bed, so I can't get up and like go down from my bunk bed and then turn on the light, you know? It's insane. So I'm like, ah! And so it's, thankfully I have skylight, so I had a little bit of moonlight, and I was like trying to like get the thing out from underneath my sheets, and I was like, gross, 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 gross. And so I was like flailing and like everything, it was crazy. It crawled out, went on the side of my bunk bed, went all the way over to my pillows, went like into my pillow area, and climbed on the top of my bed, and then went down all the way down the side of my of like the pole of my bed, and then I lost it. I was like, fuck, shit. So I called my roommate. I woke him up. He was gonna get up in like 2 minutes anyway to go to work, but I was like, look, I am terrified right now. You need to come in and get the fucking roach. I'm not dealing with this bullshit. And so he comes in with his cup and his little paper. He's like, it's literally 5:30 in the morning. I'm like, I don't fucking care. Get the fucking roach. I'm terrified. I'm gonna die. Get the fucking roach out of my room. And so, so he catches it and he throws it outside. Man, I couldn't go to sleep after that. I could not go to sleep. Imagine being woken up by a roach on your foot. Disgusting. It couldn't be me. I mean, it was me, but I wish it wasn't. It was pretty terrifying, honestly. I'm gonna be real. That reminds me of when I had to shoo a roach away from Goblin. Yeah. The South, man. Got those big fat roaches. I wish life wasn't like this, but alas, it is. We all have to suffer. It sucks. Oh well! Anyway, that's gonna be it for me today, guys. That's gonna be it for me. Just gonna casually be like, oh my god, look at what I drew today. Wow, amazing, fantastic. Ooh, great, oh my god. Anyway, I'm gonna peace out. I'm not doing any streams this weekend, so next time I see you guys will be Monday. Okay? We'll do some more drawings on Monday. I hope you guys have a great weekend and a great rest of your night, great rest of your day. Beautiful art as always. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna peace out. Okay, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye, bye bye.